In the beginning we come to know about Haruto, who has locked himself in his room because of being bullied at school and watches anime all day on his phone. One day suddenly his phone lights up and he finds a goddess in front of him, who tells him that he has been chosen to be reborn in another world. Haruto realizes that he is dead. The goddess tells him that she is about to revive him in a magical world and will give him lots of overpowered magical powers. But Haruto is not excited about this. He just wants to watch anime and play video games all day. He is reborn as a newborn baby, in the house of a king. He also has the royal insignia on his chest. The king is very happy to see his new son. He immediately asks his servant to do a magical assessment of him. The king expects his son to be at least level 40 because his mother is the Flash princess who defeated the Demon King with her own hands. The servant tells the king that his son is level 2 and cannot use any element. He can only use barrier magic. The king is horrified to know this and thinks that if others come to know about his level 2 son, he will be infamous. The king and queen decide that they will tell everyone that their son died at birth, so the king asks the servant to take him away to a forest and dispose of him. Goddess starts to panic seeing all this from above. She has set Haruto's level at 1002, but the measuring device of that world can only measure level up to 3 digits. Also, she forgot to give him any element. They leave Haruto in a forest. He remembers the king's servant saying he can use barrier magic. He gives it a go. Haruto concentrates and visualizes the barrier as a box. He succeeds in making a barrier. Haruto can make it big and small as per his wish and can change it in any form if he wants. He thinks of using this barrier on himself and it works. Haruto is able to lift himself in the air. Suddenly a huge fox comes in front of him which tries to eat him, but Haruto saves himself using the barrier. He attacks the fox with many small barriers, but it does not affect her. Haruto lifts the trees using barriers and hits the fox, but even this does not hurt her much. Finally, Haruto lifts a huge mountain. This frightens the fox and she apologizes to Haruto, but Haruto thinks that he must have got an illusion of hearing someone's voice. He continues to attack the fox. The fox shouts loudly and apologizes to him. Haruto realizes that the fox can speak. He does not kill her. The fox is surprised by his powers and asks who he is. Haruto tries to answer her but he cannot speak. He gets an idea. He absorbs a barrier around his neck, which makes him speak. Haruto tells her that he was born in the family of the king, but they threw him in the forest as his mana level is only 2. But the fox tells him that she is feeling energy in his body which is beyond human limits. The fox thinks that he is the reincarnation of the Demon King. Haruto does not clear the fox's misunderstanding and tells her that he is the Demon King. After knowing this, the fox gives up and asks to kill her, but Haruto finds it a bit much, so he tells her that he will not do anything to her if she never attacks him again. The fox swears on her name, Flame Fenna, that she will never attack Haruto again. Haruto says goodbye to her and calls her Flay while leaving. Fox feels that Haruto has given her a new name and she claims that a pact has been established between them, promising to serve Haruto for the rest of her life. Haruto explains to her that he was shortening her name, but Flay does not listen to him. Suddenly Haruto becomes weak and falls to the ground. Flay does not understand what is going wrong. Haruto tells her that he has to drink milk. Flay turns into a human to feed her master, but this makes Haruto feel embarrassed. He makes Flay wear some clothes, but this makes him feel even more embarrassed. Flay prepares to feed him, but it turns out that she doesn't have any milk. When she hears someone coming, Flay thinks of killing him, but Haruto asks her to talk first. He gives her a barrier to talk. A man comes there and asks Flay to give him Haruto. Flay flatly refuses him. The man asks what is the relation between Flay and Haruto. Flay says that the child is her master. The man claims that he is the child's relative and has come to save him in this forest. Flay asks why did they leave him in the first place. The man assures Flay that he has come to save him and shows her the milk bag as proof. Haruto asks Flay to take the milk, but Flay ignores him. She asks the man why he wants this child. The man tells her his sad story. His wife once gave birth to a child, but he died soon after birth. Haruto is abandoned by his parents because of his weakness, which he cannot tolerate, so he wants to save Haruto. Hearing his sad story, Flay starts crying. The man finds it strange to see a demon crying for a human child, so he asks Flay to come home with him so that she can be with Haruto. Flay agrees to go home with him. Before leaving, he leaves some evidence to make it look like an animal has taken Haruto. After this, they both go to that man's house. 9 years pass by. Haruto is now grown up. He lives with the family of that man. Flay is now the maid of that family. On the first day, he intended to grab the milk bag and run away, but when he started getting lots of love from that family, he could run away. Now there is only one problem in Haruto's life, and that is his younger sister Cha, who hates him, but she is very fond of Flay. Cha asks Flay to play with her, but she refuses. Haruto orders her to go play with her. Haruto stands alone from inside the room watching them play outside. His mother tells him not to get discouraged. She explains that Cha doesn't yet know how to behave with children her age. Haruto feels that Cha knows his secret, that he is not her age but a 30-year-old man. Seeing his despair, his mother asks him to do something special for Cha. She asks him to be a responsible brother. Haruto realizes that he is not good in social situations. His mother reminds him that he is the heir of this family and has to take all these responsibilities from them. Haruto goes to his room and thinks of leaving this house soon to escape from the responsibilities, but he does not want to go from there by hurting anyone. That is why he has also prepared a clone, but this does not speak and walk. He remembers that he will have to make a clone for Flay as well, because she will insist on going with him, and if he takes Flay away from Cha, Cha will start hating him even more. Then his father comes to call him. He takes him to the garden and tells him that from today he will teach him how to use a sword, because according to him, Haruto's level is low, so he wants to teach him some other skill. Haruto pretends that he is studying ancient magic in his room, but his father insists that he use the sword. Haruto knows that his father is a skilled warrior, and to avoid his attack, he covers himself with the barrier. Haruto attacks first by jumping in the air. His attack hits the ground and a crater is formed, which surprises his father. His father tells him to avoid his attack. Haruto avoids his attack by jumping in the air. His father cannot believe his eyes, because only people above level 30 can dodge this attack. Haruto also finds this strange. The level of the most powerful person in this world was 77, so he wonders that his level may be in hundreds. So he tested his powers by making a crystal from his barrier, but even in that his level was 2. He thought it was some overpower skill the goddess was talking about. Haruto's father continues his training. His wife asks about his practice. He says Haruto could be the reincarnation of a demon. He tells her about the secret royal papers that talk about the birth of a monster child in human form. They also find it strange to have Demon Flay's attachment to Haruto, but they both agree that whatever happens, they will give a normal life to Haruto. One day Haruto hears commotion outside his room. He uses his barrier to see outside. He sees many injured soldiers outside. He asks his father what happened to them. The father tells that they were going to capture some thieves, but they attacked them from behind and injured them. His father feels that it is not good for Haruto to see all this, so he asks him to go to his room. Flay makes fun of the soldiers for being beaten up by thieves. Haruto gets angry and tells her to keep her mouth shut. While going from there, he heals them all with his barrier and they become very happy. Haruto's father doesn't understand who is doing all this. Haruto suddenly wakes up. He comes out of the room and sees Flay standing there. He realizes that Flay is still obeying his previous orders. He forgives Flay and takes her to the terrace with him. Then he uses his barriers to find the thieves who attacked his father. In a short while he sees those thieves, who are celebrating their victory in their fort. Haruto flies there to teach them a lesson. As soon as he comes there, he freezes those thieves with his barrier magic. A thief starts running his mouth. Haruto punishes him by throwing him on the wall. The thieves tell that they are soldiers of the neighboring empire who have come here to wreak havoc. They also tell that someone had helped him to enter this country. Haruto feels that their helper is someone powerful and he is after his father. He orders Flay to set the entire fort on fire. Flay uses her demonic powers to set the entire fort on fire in the blink of an eye. Haruto sends an anonymous letter to his father in which he explains everything that happened here. His father is shocked to learn about the conspiracy to his death. Char asks who taught those thieves a lesson. Her father's suspicion falls on Flay, as she is the only one so powerful that she can do such a thing using fire so well. Suddenly Char remembers something and starts going somewhere. She remembers last night when she saw Haruto and Flay flying in the sky. She asks Flay if there is any duplicate of Haruto. Flay thinks she is joking. Char explains that she saw them flying in the sky. As Haruto doesn't have enough mana to fly, she goes to Haruto's room to check and he was sleeping there. But this time she didn't feel his scary mana. Flay is happy that Char can feel Haruto's powers, but she doesn't tell him anything about him. Flay tells Haruto about what happened between her and Char. Haruto puts up a barrier in the house to keep an eye on Char. Char starts following Haruto everywhere. Whether he is learning swordplay or taking a bath in the bathroom, whether he is sitting in the room, she follows him around and runs away if Haruto tries to talk to her. One day the mother tells him that she is going on a holiday out of town with Char. Haruto asks to take Flay along for safety, but remembers that he has sent her out for some work. Suddenly his barrier starts alarming. He sees that some soldiers have attacked his mother's convoy. His mother runs away with Char. Haruto guides Char with the help of his barrier. Her mother thinks someone is helping Char by showing her the way. They both reach near a ditch. Haruto tells them to jump from there. His mother uses her magic to get down from there without getting hurt. Haruto tells them to hide in a nearby cave, but the cave was full of light. His mother tells Char to wait for her in the cave. She wants to go out to find the person who told him the direction in Char's ear. Char tries to stop her. Mother explains that there is a hero of justice to help them, who will definitely save them. When her mother comes out, she finds the same soldiers there. She thinks that she should not let herself be caught alive. She tries to kill herself, when suddenly the knife shatters into pieces and Haruto reaches there and grabs his mother. Seeing this condition of his mother, Haruto gets very angry. He makes all those soldiers fly away from there. He goes into the cave and asks Char to take care of their mother, but Char feels his powers unable to come out of fear. Char comes out with courage and asks Haruto if he is a hero of justice. Haruto at first does not understand, but he decides to play along, telling her that he is the hero of justice. Char is overjoyed to know. All her fear vanishes. Haruto asks Char not to tell this secret of his to anyone. His father gets the news about this attack. He wonders who saved his wife and daughter's life. He asks Haruto about it. Haruto mistakenly says that the man kills the soldiers of the neighboring country. His father asks how he knows all this. Haruto tactfully tells that if they were some petty thief, they would not have targeted his mother and sister. His father can't believe his behavior, that he is just 9 years old. He suspects that someone had helped them in infiltrating. His father's suspicion goes to someone in the palace. Then Char comes there with her mother. She hugs Haruto. Her mother is surprised to see their friendship. Char now likes Haruto. Flay gets jealous of their friendship. After that day, Char comes into his room whenever she wants. Haruto is a little bothered by this, but he does not mind. Char asks about the barrier in his room. Haruto says that it is an ancient magic to keep an eye on others. But now everyone has completely forgotten about it. Char tells him about the library of the fort, where there are some books related to ancient magic. Char brings him there with her. She gives him some books related to ancient magic. Haruto starts reading those books. Char wants him to read those books to her. She sits on his lap. Haruto finds it a bit strange, but he does not ask Char off his lap. While reading the book, Haruto mentions anime. Char asks what he is talking about. Haruto tells that anime are moving talking pictures. Char starts looking at him in surprise. Haruto thinks that she finds him weird, but it doesn't happen and she gets excited to learn about anime. Haruto succeeds in connecting his barrier to Earth's internet. He opens a children account for Char. Char is very excited to watch anime. She likes anime with a magical girl. Char can't believe her eyes seeing those pictures moving and talking. But she doesn't understand the language. Haruto thinks that Char is still 5 years old so she can learn other languages fast. But Char learns the whole language on the very first day. Seeing this ability of Char, Haruto feels that maybe his younger sister is a genius. Char comes to his room every day and starts watching anime all day. She starts getting so tired that she even starts sleeping on the dinner table. Haruto realizes that this is not good for Char's future. He tells Char that she can only watch anime for 3 hours a day, which makes her sad. She starts following Haruto everywhere, even taking bath with him. Haruto tells her to do something else, but Char doesn't want to do anything other than watching anime. She starts sleeping with him at night. Their mother is very happy to see this friendship growing between them. Next morning their father goes to catch some thieves. Char worries about her father. She asks Haruto to help her father by catching those thieves like a hero. Haruto wants to dissuade her but can't say no. Seeing the sparkle in her eyes, Char asks him to transform into a hero and go to fight. Haruto thinks it's all an effect of watching anime, but he transforms into a hero. Char wants to go with him, but Haruto refuses to take her, but puts up a screen so she can see him. Haruto finds the thieves through his barrier and imprisons them in a cave. He wants to leave, but Char wants to watch some action. He goes to those thieves and beats all of them. Then his father reaches there and sees that someone has already beaten those thieves. He asks him his name. He gets nervously and tells him some strange name. His father asks why he is doing all this. Haruto replies that he is doing all this for justice. He is quite embarrassed. He gets tired of doing all this, but Char wants him to do it again. So he does it again and becomes famous as the Black Knight. After months of reading books in the library, Haruto finally succeeds. How his clone can walk and talk, but he too is as lazy as Haruto. Char is surprised to see 2 Harutos, while someone tries to summon him out. Haruto asks his clone to go out in his place, but he refuses. They came outside and the princess and prince came to meet them. Prince complained about not receiving a grand welcome. Haruto's father apologizes to the prince. When his sister tries to stop him, he calls her a political tool and tells her to keep quiet. Prince doesn't like Haruto staring at him. He challenges him to a fight. Both come to the ground. Haruto checks his level. He is level 9, max up to level 40. He compares his level with his father and sister. The prince attacks Haruto, but he easily dodges his attacks again and again. The princess feels that he is not level 2 as it requires advanced magic to move that quickly. His father tells her neither he nor Haruto know anything about this, so he thinks it might be a miracle. Prince attacks Haruto with fire, but Haruto saves himself using the barrier. Prince wonders where his fire is disappearing. Haruto tells that he is absorbing his fire with his magic. Prince doesn't believe he can use such advanced magic. Haruto shows him by taking out his fire. Prince accepts defeat. She apologizes to Haruto and asks if he is really level 2. Haruto walks away without answering. He thinks if those people know about his level, then the king and queen must be keeping an eye on him.